States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Tonight we have Steve Merkel.
Here.
Steve Boyd.
Here.
Tim Johnson.
Here.
Samantha Hayes is here. Jim Capello.
Yeah.
And Mark Clement. We are full today. I'm going to hold the meeting minutes because we have a question on the policy for the 4th, and then there's a change I requested for the 11th. New business, we're going to go with Al Smith, who's here for the SAD 61.
Good evening. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to review the budget. Pretty straightforward this year. There's not a lot of extra in the school side of it, and I'll go through the 11 cost centers and show you what is or has changed. As you guys, I'm sure, are fully aware, the biggest challenge each year is the payroll increases and cost of insurance, which we don't have any control over, and that's about 81% of our budget. So the first cost center is just the regular education, and I don't need to read it to you. You can see what it covers. It's the general education part of it. We are adding a 4th grade teacher to Crooked River due to increased enrollment. And there are some shared more responsibilities for our gifted and talented program that will now be shared with the high school. So there were some additions there. We also are getting more EL students, so we are adding a full-time Ed Tech 3 just because of a population increase. As far as the special ed area, we're not adding any new people or new staff. The only increases are that to the cost of employment as well as the insurance. If you do see any big swings, pluses or minus, it's because we've moved somebody from one school to another school, but it isn't adding staff.
What was your insurance increase this year?
Insurance?
Yeah.
Health or
health.
building?
Health.
Health insurance, we don't have it yet.
You don't have the increase
No.
yet? What are you budgeting for an increase?
We budgeted 10%.
10%.
Yeah. I think we're going to come in a little bit less than that, but because our actuaries were pretty good this year, but I don't.
Who do you have insurance with?
We have
insurance?
Anthem.
You have Anthem?
Yeah. Property insurance, however, was a substantial increase.
Yeah.
So on Article 2, all the special ed pieces that go along with that, it's all itemized out. But again, any big swings up or down it might be changing from a speech therapist company to another area. We have difficulty hiring those people now, so we're having to do a lot more of contracted services, which we prefer not to do, but we have to support the kids, and we just can't find the staffing in those areas. When you look at Article 3, career and technology education, that's all of our vocational pieces, and we have not added additional areas there, although we are anticipating that we will have a marine opportunity this year for our kids. Two of the marinas locally are working with us, and I think we'll have about 7 kids to start the program. That is going to be supported by the state, so it shouldn't be much of an adjustment for us in the budget. So it's really close. Just got a few more things to do, and we're pretty excited to be able to offer that next year. I mean, we live in an area where there's marinas everywhere. We don't have a marine tech, so I think it's time. Article 4 is other instruction. That's the co-curricular pieces, and we did have 2 requests this year that are really nice opportunities. Our band instructor would like to have a marching band. We're actually going to combine with Gray New Gloucester We did a little, I say we, he did a little bit with it this year. The kids loved it. They did really well with it. Numbers aren't huge, so by combining with Gray New Gloucester, it'll give the kids more numbers to be able to do different things that they like to do. And also, the kids really are the ones that are pushing for a chess club. We do have one this year. It's been very active. A lot of kids are participating. So we're going to put a small stipend in to support the chess club. As far as the athletic fields and whatnot go, we have a gator that is, well, sometimes it runs and sometimes it doesn't, so it's really on its last leg. We may not end up with a gator itself, but we do need something that has the longer back in it so we can transport water as well as tape up students and do things of that nature. So that's in the budget, as well as a baseball scoreboard. When you look at Article 5, there has not been any new additions to Article 5, and that's kind of all the other stuff that you look at around technology, social workers, nurses, psychologists, things of that nature fall into Article 5, and we have not added any new positions in that area. Systems administration, which is Article 6, which is my office. Again, there hasn't been any new additions to that area. So any increases, again, are insurances and or increased salaries. School administration, that's all the other administrators. And in both areas, this is all the secretaries and all the materials and everything that run all of those offices. And there hasn't been any additional increases as far as staffing or requests in that area. Transportation, this is an area that is really becoming quite a challenge for us. We ended up with a dilemma, or this year, we had a late bus inspection, and when we had our bus inspection, we had 2 buses that failed. Well, actually, we had 5 that failed, but 4 of them was minor things like an emergency brake cable or lights and things like that that we could fix. But the other 2, we couldn't, it wasn't worth repairing them. So we didn't budget for it, but we ended up having to buy 2 new buses this past year. And now we're at a point where we're going to have to purchase 3 next year. And it's 2 of the smaller buses and 1 of the bigger buses. We actually will do a lease purchase, so we'll space out the cost of the buses over 3 years. But buses have gone through the roof. It's $135,000 to $145,000 for a big bus, and we're lucky if we can get $120,000, $125,000 for a small bus. So to try to take a $400,000 hit to the budget 1 year wouldn't make sense, where we can do a lease purchase. So we do that over a 3-year period of time. But this is going to be an ongoing thing. Our fleet has gotten to a point where, believe it or not, we put on approximately 50,000 miles or more per bus per year. I mean, we've got buses up there that are 4 years old and they've got over 200,000 miles on them. So we try to get 350 out of our buses, but and mechanically, our mechanics are great. It's the rust. It sits up underneath the, and we have an underwash system and everything. They do a great job cleaning them up, but you just can't chase the rust away. So that hurts us more than anything else. So that in this budget there is, for 1 full-size bus and 2, they call them mini buses, but they're really about a 30-passenger bus, 28. As far as facility and maintenance, this is an area that we really needed to pay a great deal of attention this year, and that's probably one of the reasons where we couldn't really do much with the other area of the budget. We've got a lot of things that have just started to fall apart. I mean, our schools are not new. We're in that 30-year plus. In high schools, 60 years old. So things are starting to break down. One area that we really got dinged on by the DEP is phosphorus ponds, and I don't know a lot about them, but I know there's things underneath that do something with the water, and I don't know exactly what, obviously I don't know exactly what I'm talking about, but Andy does, and they've rusted away. So the Stevens Brook Elementary School is the big one that we can't take care of it ourselves. The other ones we've been able to. So we actually have to have a company come in and take care of that one. There's a sprinkler tank that needs to be repaired at the Songalak School. There's a fire pump upgrade that needs to take place at the middle school. And believe it or not, the upgrade or it's a full replacement. It's $75,000. It's just crazy how some of these things are costing, but we don't have a choice. It's time to get some of these things done. Our security camera system at the high school is really, really old, and it's not great. So we're upgrading that, and it actually will go to the cloud, so we can actually use less camera heads, but they have greater vision as well as much clearer, and so we can actually see. And really what we use it for more often than not is things that happen within the building. And there's a lot of time spent looking at the videos, whereas the new system, you can actually, for instance, the kid that was involved had a hat on. So you can actually put a code in that will pull up every kid with a hat. And then you say, we only need to look at the ones that had black pants on. You can put that in. So it just starts filtering everything out very quickly in any given area. So that's going to be pretty helpful. The other thing that we're going to be doing at the high school is upgrading the communication system within the classrooms. Right now, all they have is a buzzer. So anytime they need to talk to somebody, or they actually have to leave the room, and somebody has to cover their class if they need to move out. So we're going to actually put in a phone system. It's the only, it's still just a two-way communication, but they can at least pick up the phone and step around the side of the door and speak that way. So that will be something that will be done at the high school. All the other schools already have it. The high school, it was never put in when the building was built. There's a storage building that is in Bridgeton. It used to be the stadium, and that is in sore need of exterior repairs. So that entire building will be more than likely T111, and then it will be sprayed with a stain. Paint just doesn't last. So it's time to upgrade the exterior of that building. So that's an area that needs to be done. With the grandstand, I believe that's what it's called. 3 years ago, 2 or 3, we built a big new maintenance building, and we never finished the interior of it. So we could have a section that has some heat in it. It's all plumbed for it, but we never had the money to finish it off. So there is approximately $50,000 in this budget to finish the front side of that building. That in turn will give us an area of space that we haven't been able to use that we do need in what we call the White House, where alternative ed is, special ed, and adult ed. So that area that is now used for maintenance and storage will be refurbished, and we'll be able to use it for student and faculty meetings and things of that nature. So it's kind of a twofold process, so to speak. Article 10 is a debt service. We did retire a debt. One of the pieces of debt that went with the high school, there's actually 3 bonds out on that. So you can see that that debt was retired, which actually helped this budget out a lot because we didn't have to put those monies in. Other expenditures, that plays into the adult ed and food service and things of that nature. So those are private entities, so there isn't funds that go along with that. As you look down to adult ed, again, that's an independent program. That program is up 8.44%. Not a ton of money, but the percentage is over 8%. And that's due to increased student participation. We've got about 30 adult ed learners now that are looking looking to get their high set, which used to be the old GED. So we're getting some great participation from kids, as well as there's a lot of other opportunities for people to do different types of activities within the building that we haven't been able to participate in before. So that's a very active program now. The area that you probably are kind of looking at is the next highlighted area, and as you read across to the far right, it does provide the percentages of each town, and you'll see that Bridgeton is going to be up approximately 4% in this budget. Casco is up about 3.3%, and you will be up just under 8%. Had we not been able to put fund balance monies back into this budget, of which we put in over $1 million, Naples would have been at 11.45%. So we were able to really kind of offset our increase for the educational side, and also help out a little bit of what happened with property values. The other piece that happened to Naples is, if you look at the bottom of the page, last year in 2025, you received state support of $1,460,000. But because your and that's all the way over to the right-hand column, because property values have greatly increased in the area, you did still receive subsidy, but it was $777,000. So approximately half of what you received before, which didn't help your bottom line. If you look at the very next page where it says state valuations of the town, and you take a look at the very top 2026, as you go across, you see that Bridgeton's state valuation increased by just a little under 5%. Casco increased at 2.7% approximately, and Naples this past year increased at just a little bit under 10%. So when you kind of look at where saying that you can support the budget at 8%, we actually, again, were able to not only offset the educational costs that would have been part of the budget, but also play down a little bit of what the percent would have been had we not been able to put some fund balance monies in. That's pretty much where we're at with the school budget. I hope you feel we've done a good job and can support it. It's always a challenge, and I wish it always broke out even, but we have a formula that we have to use, and property values, as you know, aren't going down. So I'm going to ask the questions about this, and then I have one other area I'd like to talk about.
What's going to happen with this new bill that's in the legislature to change the state funding formula?
So I'm actually head of the funding committee for Cumberland County Superintendent's Group. I'm as optimistic as I can be when I'm working with the DOE. I've been involved in this for over 2 years, and one of the places that we get absolutely crucified in is valuations of properties, property index, which I guess I get it in the sense that if you go to Wyndham and try to buy the same house that you buy here, there is a substantial difference of $100,000, $150,000. But we still have to hire the same people that they hire, and we still have to compete with their employment pieces that they provide for their salaries. So I've pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed, and what they have now decided to do, which is going to be very much to our advantage if it goes through, is that they're now going to take all of Cumberland County and use our index as what Cumberland County is. So right now, we're at 0.94% around the way the index works for costs of living. We'll actually be at 1.18, which is what the rest of Cumberland County already gets. So that would be a substantial bonus for us. There are 4 other areas that they're looking at. Socioeconomics, which we're pretty much in the same place we've always been. We're right around 5.2%. State average is 0.54%, and state average is pretty much where we're at. I don't see it big difference there, but we should recoup some funds there. I mean, just to give you a little idea of how the state takes areas like this and gives us pretty much no support. Had we not been getting 50% subsidy for our special ed, and had we not been getting subsidy for our socioeconomics, we would have ended up with about 3.5% support from the state. So because of those two factors putting in, we actually ended up with about 18% support from the state. So when I beg people to fill out those free and reduced lunch forms, they're huge, because if you don't get over that 50% mark, it's a penalty. You lose money. Another area that I pushed really hard on is they changed the way transportation was supported for special ed. I mean, we do get some monies for, like, when we do our vans or our direct runs to special private schools, but we do a lot of special transportation for our kids within the district. We used to get subsidy for that. I mean, when you're putting 1 or 2 children on a 26, 28 passenger bus, that's not inexpensive. But they did away with that. They made that go into your regular ed funding. So there is a trigger now that is supposed to help us with some of our transportation. Plus, we're within the top 10 miles per bus, so to speak. We have a big district. We travel a lot. So that also plays into it.
If that passes, will this budget be reduced because we're going to get more subsidy?
Theoretically.
And when will we know that?
So it's supposed to be being pushed through this year for next year.
Oh, for next year, not this year?
It won't be this year.
Okay.
For next year, it's a $55 million price tag for the changes. The big one, obviously, is the index, and that's about 35 to 38 million more that has to be put in place. I'm hopeful. I mean, there is, finally, the DOE is on board with it. This 279, the budget process that we have, has not been adjusted in 30 years. You just can't do that. I mean, everything's changed. We all know that. Nothing's the same as it was even close to 10 years ago. So I'm hopeful that will take place. There is at least the interest. It has been put together to make it move forward, but still, for me, it's a wait and see. So hopefully it'll help us for next year.
Thank you.
Other questions?
Where are we on the number of deputies?
Resource officers, things of that nature?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we still have our one resource officer. Primarily spends most of his time at the high school, does do some with the middle school. As far as the elementary schools, if we have a situation, we do call the sheriff's department to come in and take care of it. We do have a dean of students still at the middle school and at the high school.
So there's still 3.
So nothing's changed there. It's stayed status quo. Yeah.
Okay.
Other thoughts or ideas?
What's Sebago's payment to the district?
What do they pay?
Yep.
I don't know, Tim, right off the top of my head, but if you want to give me a call, I can give you an exact answer. They get billed whatever the state allows for cost per student.
Is their cost per student the same as what it's a cost per student between the middle school and high school for us?
As far as the state goes, yes. As far as what I believe, no.
And how can we change that?
So we will be going into negotiations with them this coming year to see if they want to continue with working with us and then we working with them. There will be some conversations about some adjustments that we feel need to take place.
Shouldn't be on Casco, Naples, and Bridgeton to support their.
So I don't think there's a big difference between our 3 communities supporting Sebago. It is a pretty accurate formula that the Department of Ed uses. In the high school, we have some flexibility. The middle school, we have no flexibility. we have to use what they tell us. Whereas the high school, we do have some flexibility.
Oh, is it just Sebago that uses us?
What's that?
Is it just Sebago that uses us, or
Yeah,
are there
well-
other districts that?
Yeah, we do have, we have probably another 40 kids that come here from other districts, and they also have to pay the same. Yeah. I mean, for instance, Raymond has school choice for high school, and we have a few kids from Raymond. We got a few from Oxford Hills, so we have probably, this year we probably got about 35
Are we
kids.
providing transport for those kids?
No.
Okay.
Your school board replacement, is athletics department doing anything for like boosters, fundraisers, anything to go towards
Yep,
it?
they have a really, really active group on the boosters. They pick up a lot of essentials and extra costs for the kids.
All right, and two more things. Your new buses that you want to buy, you guys going to rush check fluid fill them when they come?
So we have considered that, and I looked into the two types of rush proofing. There's one that's more of a liquidy type of product, and then there's one that's a heavier wax type of product. None of them give you a guarantee, and they won't give you a guarantee, particularly on buses. Our buses typically only last 3 to 5 years. So at this point in time, I am looking at other schools that are doing some of that. I'm not sure the dollar and cent amount as the cost per bus. I mean, you're looking at $3,000 to $4,000 a bus with a heavy waxy type of material. And then it's, I think, around $500 a bus for like a fluid film type of material. And you have to have it done every year.
The fluid film you guys can do in-house,
So,
but the rust check, I would look into.
And that's who we
Because
looked
of
into,
these-
was rush
Yes,
check.
it is a yearly cost,
Yeah,
but I personally believe that if you rush check it, you're gonna gain 2 more years out of that bus.
you rush check that, it's probably gonna cost you $500 a year.
Yeah.
And this is from firsthand experience.
Yeah.
I'd be willing to bet the frame of that bus and the cross members, which were wrought out on them,
right.
you're gonna last, I bet 4 to 6 more years if it's done every year.
Yeah.
And you can't wash the outside of the bus, do not wash the bottom of it all winter.
Really?
Because when you rinse them off underneath,
Yeah.
it takes the wax off.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, and so my last thing, so you're adding a 4th grade teacher this coming school year.
Correct.
Is that gonna be with the number of students of 5th grade in the following year, 6th grade the following year, and then right up through?
No, we only have a class, 2 classroom teachers of grade 3. So now, because of the enrollment that's increased, I'm going the wrong direction.
You're talking Song of Locks, right?
Yeah, so the kids that are coming in, it will increase the class size so that we'll need 3 as opposed to 2.
But
Or is it 4? I guess it's 4.
Like in 2026, 27, is it you're gonna add one?
I don't know.
Okay.
You know, and that will, I will say this area is growing a lot. Our elementary school, we were seeing significant increase in numbers. And so it's actually, now that I think about it, it's actually we currently have 3, it'll make it 4. So I don't know. I can't answer that question.
Where's the growth coming from? What town?
Casco,
Casco?
yeah. You have some, but not as much as Casco. But you have
So
some.
how does
also.
that figure in the
So once,
percentages that each town?
next year, you'll see, because it's based on student population also.
Yeah.
So you'll see that adjustment depending on what their increase of student
Okay.
is. Now, I will say, of late, we picked up, in the last 2 months, 8 more students, and 7 of them were from Naples. So I think some of what's happening is some of the houses that were older people, retired people, have moved, and now families are moving
Yeah.
into those houses. So I think that's what we're seeing here, whereas Casco actually has some small developments that are taking place.
Any other questions from us?
I have a couple, if you don't mind. And some of it's just to kind of make sure everybody understands how the funding system works.
Sure.
So on ED 279, essentially the way that works is the state has supposedly funds about 55% of the cost of the school system throughout the state, like a whole.
Correct.
Okay, but the part of that that trickles down to us is very kind of tiny.
Correct.
Okay, so I know there's been a lot in the paper about, the state several years ago upped their funding, the amount that they funded. And so you would think that the town is getting 55% of the cost of the education covered, and it's not.
Not even close.
Yeah, what?
So if you kind of look at it as education, the DOE looks at education as one big classroom. And whatever they, in their infinite wisdom, feel that you should be able to run your school on, they put that into a total dollars and cents. Then they say, okay, what's 55% of that? So that all sounds like we're gonna get 55%. We don't, because then what they do is they break it down into property values and student enrollment. Those are the two biggies. There's a couple others in there, but those are the two big ones. And so once they start doing the property values, then they have low receivers and high receivers. I mean, you're over in Oxford, right? I'm gonna guess they're probably 55% over there,
Pretty close.
okay? We're 3.7%.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for, like I said, our special ed being mandated to support it at 50% and being 52% of socioeconomic in the area, then we wouldn't even, we'd be at that 3.7%. That's another area that they have looked at with the funding. They're starting to understand that, yep, we're property rich, but we're not rich. And so now they're taking into the average cost of living for what the income is for the individuals. So that's another area we should have some success with. Again, I don't know what it'll be, but it won't be until next year anyhow.
So I was looking at ED 279 today for last year, and it looks like the entire aid that we got was the $1.4 million that was Naples, right?
Right.
Casco and Birchton got nothing. Did I
Right.
understand that correctly?
Yes,
So now the entire district state aid for this year is the
77,000.
Yeah.
Yep.
So out of a, how many $1 million budget?
This year
Your
coming,
total budget, yeah,
roughly 40 million.
yeah. So
Yep. So
this is why the
it's,
taxpayers are taking
it's
it.
clearly not a good, fair process or formula. And this district, as well as myself, I've been there, as Jim has said, quite a while. We've been playing this terrible game for a long time with them. And I'm not one to volunteer for any political office, but I did, not that anybody else probably wanted it, but 3 years ago I did step up to do the funding committee for Cumberland. I just felt like I was banging my head against the wall every time I talked to the DOE. And by having now representing the entire Cumberland Superintendent's Cumberland County group, at least I have a voice when they meet. And we actually had a pretty big meeting the other day, and I had to ask some questions, and somebody finally said, Al will stop asking a lot more questions if you tell him what percentage of monies that they're going to get.
Right.
So she said, oh yeah, we should probably start out that for Al. I go, yes, you should. So we should gain out of it, but again, it's got to pass. I do have one more item that I want to bring forward. You have a last sheet on your paper. It talks about a special article. And we've been trying to get generators in the buildings for obvious reasons, and I don't know why, but we seem to be having more and more power outages in the area. So with this particular additional article, I've broken it down into 3 areas. One is the generator for what we call the ESB building, which is really kind of the center of our hub. It's where all our communication is, it's where all our buses are, it's all our maintenance, it's all our repair, and we don't have a generator up there, which is nuts. That is imperative that we, get a generator up in there. And that generator would be $165,000, and that's the first option, okay? And believe it or not, it'll still take us a year and a half to get the generator and get the generator installed, because you can't buy them. You have to order them and have them built. So,
Is it a big diesel?
yeah,
Do you know how many kilowatts it is?
I don't, but it's pretty good sized. So that particular generator would be $165,000, and I broke it down by percent, as well as dollars and cents. If that were to pass, you can see, that the Naples portion would be $51,374, or approximately 0.55% increase to your school budget. The other two options are the Songolox Elementary School. That should have a generator. I don't think it's as imperative as the ESB building. You can see what that would do. And then I combined the two at the bottom. It would be $410,000 for both of them. I'm kind of looking at yourselves as to what your thoughts are. You don't have to answer to me tonight. Maybe Samantha, you can chat a little bit and give me a call to see what your thoughts are around where we might go. But we do absolutely need to put the ESB building on with a generator.
Why aren't you just putting it in the budget?
We wanted to do it as a special article because we've done that with all the generators and all the buildings, so it was very transparent what we were doing. We could have put that in the budget, but it just didn't make sense because we've never done it that way. With all the generators, one at the high school, and we did another one at Stevensbrook, we always separated.
So when the voters vote on this, are they gonna know what increase it's gonna be to their tax rate?
Yep. Yeah, it'll be just like the school budget and the number, and then you vote on it, and it'll be the same at the town meeting when we have it at the high school. So it'll be absolutely listed out.
Are these gonna be warming centers?
So the ESP building, probably not, to be honest. It really doesn't lend itself very well to that. I mean, it's
It's gonna be hard to sell on your taxpayers on that.
yeah. Well, I gotta be honest, it does have a kitchen, it does, but it's more garages and repair areas and things of that nature. It does have two vocational pieces. It has the automotive and the construction. But there's bathrooms and whatnot in there, so it could have value that way. But it really, the high school has a generator now. We finally.
You have one in there now?
Yeah, we got that installed this past summer, and it's working really well. So talking about a warming center.
Cumberland County EMA actually has the high school as a shelter.
Well,
And has had it for,
Well, we're actually listed now with a Red Cross for that building as well as the Crooked River building, so that,
13 years they've had you listed as a shelter, and I told them it was crazy because there's no generator.
correct, yep.
At that time when I was the EMA director at Casco there. Oh, it does.
No, right. So they did contact us this year,
Yeah.
and we did let them know that we do have the generator now. And absolutely would be the perfect place for a warming center. And it's a big generator. It'll run the entire building. Yeah. Yeah.
So would this finish out, I say all the buildings in the district, all the main buildings in the district for generators?
It would not finish this, well, if you did both of them, we would still be missing the middle school. The middle school is a little odd. Believe it or not, it has two power sources that come into that building. When they built the addition, I'm not sure why, I'm not an electrician, nor do I have that knowledge, but they put a whole separate electrical system. So it would actually take two smaller generators to run that building. But we don't have one at Songolox, we don't have one at the middle school. The middle school isn't as much of a concern to me. We had a power outage this past year that was quite long. And what we were able to do with the middle school kids, it's amazing. When you lose your power, everybody has to go to the bathroom. I don't know what it is, but, so what we ended up doing was actually sending buses down. It wasn't perfect by any means, but we could send a bus down to the middle school, pick up kids that had to go to the bathroom, run them up to the high school, and run them back. Not ideal, but you know, it was pretty interesting. After one run, not so many kids had to go to the bathroom. Because they were sure they were going to go home, but they didn't. So the middle school isn't as big a concern for me. The kids are older, and the little ones worry me. I mean, our Songo Locks building is a pre-K too. So even if we go with the ESP building this year, and you'll see me come back next year for the Songo
Because
Locks.
correct me if I'm wrong, 3 or 4 years ago, we voted to buy generators. So that finished that.
It finished the high school and Stevens Brook. And because Stevens Brook didn't have any, Bridgeton didn't have any warming center either. So now the Bridgeton School is on as a site for a warming center, and so is the high school. Yep. Correct, you are correct. And those were expensive. The high school was really expensive. Yeah. So maybe you can talk amongst yourself a little bit, and you're welcome to call me out and say, we don't want any. We're welcome to try it, but, or you can do this, or really where we're at budgetarily, we would prefer to just do this. So, but we're struggling a little bit ourselves as to which way to go. Some people would like to do it all.
Now, I assume you're going to propose this question to the other 2 towns.
Correct.
How's that work if we say, I'm sorry, but we can't support this, what the other 2 towns do? Is that like the school budget? We're forced to?
No, I think it's a question of listening and asking the questions and letting them know that, look, I've already met with Naples, they would like to see this done. I think you have to share that information, and all 3 towns have worked pretty well together, quite honestly, at least from the school budget position. I don't think anybody's ready to force somebody to do something else. Everybody's been in your position, that their budget has been a little bit more expensive or higher than the other. I can remember one year, quite a few years ago, that the entire school budget increase fell on Bridgeton. And both Naples and Casco actually got a huge negative, money back, so to speak. I guess, you never really got any money back, but you weren't increased. So it just is the way it happens. So,
Randy, what do we have in here for percentage right now for the town? In our budget for school?
7.63.
7.63?
little low. Yeah.
Well, we're not up by much, it's
No.
7.9.
Right at 7.9.
7.96.
and I did have a conversation with Randy, geez, probably 3-4 weeks ago now.
Yeah.
And I said I was going to do the very best I could to get it under 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we can't really do any more from our end. Just pull that.
No, I honestly thought you were gonna come in here with a 10 or 11.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's nuts.
I thought about it.
Very happy with it.
So,
So,
but
but
yeah.
just out of curiosity, if you
Yeah.
put in the 4 times, do you know what that would put us at for a number?
Say that again, on the generator?
Yeah,
It's on your paper,
where I just added in the 1.37? Is
yeah,
that what it would be?
if you did both. Yeah,
You'd be 9 new.
yeah, right.
So what's that? 50 cents more, 40 cents more?
I don't know, I'd have to do the math, but it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot, exactly.
Correct.
For us, the school mill rate is about 3 times what the municipal mill rate is. So when we get an increase like that, it's the big driver, becomes a big driver. I can calculate that for you if you want.
And that's why I broke it out the way I did, so you could have some food for thought and see what you could live with, so to speak.
What's the longevity of these generators?
Well, it's like any engine.
As long as there's
Hopefully-
a service.
hopefully you get a good one.
It should last 15 to 20.
I was gonna say, if you get a good engine, you don't have problems, you should get 20 years out of it.
But
As long as you maintain it, yeah, 'cause they don't, it's not like it's in a vehicle, it runs once a day, it cycles, and it has to do that,
Well, your cycles once a day, not once a week.
yeah, or maybe it's once a week,
That's what it should be. It
Yeah.
should be once a week
but,
for an hour.
yep, roughly an hour. Actually, we had problems with the one at Crooked River, they didn't put the stack up high enough, so once a week, all of a sudden, the fumes would start coming back in the building, so they had to come back and increase the height of the stack. But it's once a week for an hour, so it's not like it's terrible as far as running, so you should get 15 to 20 years out of it, at least that's what
What's
we're.
that price include the service contract?
I don't know the company, but I do know the diesel.
Is the school allowed to go for grants? Like,
We apply for every grant in the world. When I first came here, I actually applied for a generator for the high school for 5 years and never got it. I also applied for a grant for SROs for 6 years and never got it. And yet that was supposed to be money that was pretty readily available. It just never hit the list. I mean, it's like the high school at some point in time, and it's not that far away, I'm going to start campaigning pretty soon, needs to have a huge rehabilitation, I guess, if you want to call it that. The front side of the building was done, the vocational piece was done, but the back side of the building, we literally have all our freshmen in a portable that's over 20 years old. We have all our special ed administration, all the adult ed, and all the alternative ed in a portable that's over 20 years old. And you just don't see them, unless you pull out behind the building. Now, our crews have done a fantastic job keeping those alive, and they are on a slab. So that's the piece that's kept them going. And it's kind of, you don't notice it in the sense that you walk through the school with 2 doors and you walk into those portables. But they're way beyond their lifespan. So at some point in time, and I applied for construction, and I'll do it again next year. But we ended up, they are looking at another area that I've been pretty active in. They're looking at a different way to fund construction. The state of Maine is just falling behind on these schools. They can't keep up. And but they funded 3 new schools for the coming year. There were 99 schools that applied, and we were 66. So you're going to not want to hold your breath before we
You
get.
got 30 years to wait.
Yep, a long time, and we can't go
You're
that
saying,
long.
and I'm just asking, you're saying within 2 to 3 years, we're gonna need rehab?
What's that?
I said, I'm asking, 2 or 3 years, we're gonna be needing to rehab the building.
We're getting to the point, I mean, that's why we have honestly, there's a lot of maintenance that's going into that building this year. Maintenance is the biggest piece of our budget increase this year. We've just gotten to that point. And you all know that roofs are really problematic.
I just was asking more as
Yep.
preparing everybody that
Yeah.
a couple of years down.
You're just not going to be able to keep up. At some point in time, there will have to be a construction project, which will be difficult to get passed because it will be on the taxpayers. So I'm actually hoping the construction formula changes so that additions and things like that can be approved. And some of the things that they have in construction that don't make any sense at all. At some point in time, there's going to have to be an addition to the Stevens Brook School. There is no funding formula or no trigger to add classrooms. Go figure. When, if you could get a $20,000 support from the state, maybe we put in another $100,000 or whatever it is, we get something from the state, it might be palatable. But there is no trigger to actually build classrooms onto a school.
That's crazy.
It doesn't make any sense. So hopefully things will change, but I'm old and I'm not holding my breath. So
who does your grant writing?
I do some of it. Some of the other administrators do some of it. Andy does a fair amount with the food service and things of that nature. We've gone out to other groups. it hasn't been overly, we've not gotten any more bang for a buck from a grant writer versus us doing our own. And grants are unfortunately pretty much driven, you gotta put this in, you gotta put this in, you gotta put this in, you gotta put this in. And for the most part, we have a syllabus as to, okay, we've got everything in there, and then we have them reviewed before we submit. So,
Naples is trying out a new grant writer. If she does really well, we'll send her your way.
yeah, absolutely, and the other nice thing about grant writers is they have the time to look for some grants
Right,
that we might not even know exist.
yeah.
So that's another advantage of a grant writer. But we have done that with a couple different people, and it didn't seem to help us. So,
What? So I live in Washburn, I told you that.
yes,
Our town office, we got a generator through a FEMA grant.
okay.
I think it was FEMA.
That's what we applied through also. Yep.
Okay, and it was an $80,000 generator, big diesel Cat. And Cat gave us a deal on it. They do stuff with municipalities. And then, so when it was all said and done, we only paid 40%. We've also had all new heat pumps put in all our buildings and solar panels and basically no match required. So,
Yeah, and again, we look every year, we
Yeah.
see what's out there. Some things we can't apply for, we don't qualify.
yeah,
And sometimes the small little communities like yourself do qualify,
yeah.
but we don't.
What about GOPIP grants, the governor's grants?
What kind of grants?
It's governor.
Oh, the government
The
grants?
governor's
Yep.
grants.
Yeah, we get a fair amount of government grants, but they're educational grants, they're for like summer school and things of that nature. We're not getting any big grants. So,
All right, if I hear of anything, we'll keep it in
Yeah.
mind.
absolutely send it my way, as well as I'm more interested in talking with whomever you're working with, if
Yeah.
she can help us out,
We'll see how good she does. She's off to a good start so far.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good evening. All right, take care.
Do rec?
Yep. Brian? Paula?
I wanted to cover a couple of things first, if it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna hit, he'll talk about the program, I was just gonna hit some of the financial numbers. So, let me see here. From a salaries and benefits standpoint, expenses in '25 were $227,489, and the budget was $235,068 for '26. For '27, it's $274,563, so that's an increase of $39,505. And it really breaks down into two categories. There's salaries for our full-time people, and then also salaries to support summer camp. There's an increase there as well. And then from an operating expenses, FY '25 expenses were 96. The budget for, that was for '25. The budget for '26 was roughly 112. And the budget proposal this year is 114,656, so it's up 3,153. And one of the things I wanted to say about that is, if you look at the expense projection versus the revenue in '25, in '25, they raised 139,702 from the programs at a cost, if you exclude salaries and benefits, of 114,656. So they're generating more than just the cost of the program, so that's good.
Moving forward, Pat's not here tonight, but on all these breakdowns,
Yep.
it's deceiving when we say that in the budget is a 3% COLA.
Yep.
Because every one we've looked at, there's position leveling is your new term.
Yep.
And it's substantial. I mean, in this particular case, it's a 30% increase.
Yep.
So I think it's important that we spell out the percentage increase in the budget for all these different things.
Percentages, you mean? Add
Or
percentages?
yeah, percentage increase, because you can't say it's a 3% COLA, because I've yet to see a budget that has a 3% COLA.
Yeah, I'm not using 3%. I'm not using the term 3% COLA.
Well,
one of the-
at our very first meeting, we were told that this budget was built on a 3% COLA increase across the board.
Unless, except for
Except for two people that were
Right.
on.
the exceptions.
Well, there's more than,
I told you guys who it was last meeting,
correct.
and those are the same people.
Well, is this a 3% COLA?
One of them is the 3%, the other one is not. You can see it on your sheet.
So,
Right.
but this isn't one that was underneath, that was described in the
Yes, it was.
contract.
Yes, it was.
Well,
Not a contract. I said last week, I said who was above the 3%. I read out the names.
and you also said those were at 5%,
No,
yeah?
no. I said the contracts were at 5%.
Correct, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this exceeds the contract of 5%.
This isn't based on a contract. This is a salary adjustment based on a salary survey.
Can we get a copy of that salary survey?
I might be able to give it to you,
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's not our product. We have to subscribe to get it. It's not meant to be public knowledge. You have to pay to get it.
I know, but the town paid for it.
Yeah,
So we can't,
it doesn't mean it's not public. We have a right to use it, but if it shows up in the public, they just lost their control of their product, right? So I can give it to you, but it shouldn't be posted.
well, that's another
It's
reason,
someone else's intellectual property.
that's another reason why we need to have an executive session down the road.
Yep.
That would be a perfect example.
Yep. I don't mind sharing.
Yep.
Well, you got the numbers there. We could add what the comps are.
Well said. Is there
I
anything-
think it's pretty straightforward. If you back out salaries
Yeah.
and insurance, there's not much increase in this budget.
No. No.
There is not a lot. That's what that was kind of the direction we were given, based on, but there is a little bit of more increase, which in salaries that is more than that COLA too, that I want to talk about, because it's not a specific individual salary. It's rehiring for camp, and I'm trying to hire more adults, if you will, try to balance that a little bit. So that's bringing that up. And we're going heavy after a camp director that can be around for a while. That's going to really be a professional camp director, not me. Though I enjoy it. But so there's some increase there too. But there are some things, and I apologize. I've been very sick. I've been out for a while. So probably a lot of you have too, or most of you. It's been getting my butt kicked. So I missed a lot of time in our recent meetings with Pat and whatnot. But I just, and maybe, and Randy, this is for you. We talked about the rec center. So obviously there's costs. The costs of building that rec center are all built into that. But as soon as it's done, as soon as the construction's done, we open the doors on that, those costs go flip back to this budget, right? So, we talked about ways of keeping that cost down in light of our situation and whatnot. And we can really do that with holding off on hiring a full-time staff for that building. But there is no way I can't stand up in front of you guys next year and say that we're gonna need to staff that building full-time with one employee, Right now, we're talking about best case scenario in this next year, best case scenario, 6 months, right, of that being open after construction's done. My guess is we'll do it, but we will have costs once that building's open, whether it's November 1st or May 1st or whatever that is, of heating, the utilities and like the bathroom supply stuff and things of that nature. So I don't know where that is. It's not on my budget. I just want to make sure that this is being accounted for.
You'll also have significant revenue to offset a lot of that.
So, right, but we can't, but it's all, the revenue, yes.
I'm talking about-
Like, there's nothing, year one of that building, not a single thing's gonna go in there that's gonna cost a penny, right? We're gonna move stuff like our basketball and our spring baseball, things that we're doing over there. But anything else in there has to be a minimum of break even, right? So we're not gonna have any money to start spending on that. So as we figure that out, I just think, if that's what you're saying, is saying, hey, just break even on everything else and we don't put it in a budget, I just don't know with that. I've never done this before, so. I just want to make sure that we're, even if like a lot of my stuff, amusement tickets, a lot of stuff that you don't see on the budget because it's donation stuff or it's sponsorship stuff. That's just, it's always a break even. I could put $1 million for my amusement tickets and $1 million because it's always going to offset because I return what I don't sell. The donation money is only spent like that way, and sponsorships pay for the exact the number of uniforms, but I just want to make sure that if it needs to be there, that it's there, and that everybody can transparency. And then I also I want to say this up top, and again I'm in a cloud over here. I just really want to thank this committee for your support of the rec center. The committee support I think went a long way, and having the vote go the way it did, the respect for this committee and the research that you do, and I do believe, as Jim just said, talk about revenues, that we've really not had a product, other than we have some fields, and we have the nice the Singer Center, and we've and we have our staff, and we have those things, but just like finally I think at this point having a product, I think these we talk about breaking even having more revenue than we have had operating costs in the past. I think we can go beyond that and really I think it's not happening for year one, but it is the most important step to make a recreation department in this town be not a burden on the taxpayers at all. And we're not there yet. We've never been there in most towns, but I think it is a real positive step in the right direction, and I just want to thank you guys for supporting it for that reason. Was there anything else?
I'm all set.
I just have one quick question for you, Brian.
Yeah.
All of our numbers for the estimated revenues are going, for some reason, down.
So,
But it should be going up, right? Like, you're anticipating the stuff to go up, right?
so I'm not looking at what you're looking at. Is there any way I can take a look at it?
Like the day camp is estimated to go down 1,200, or I'm sorry, is estimated to go down 11,000, which doesn't make sense to me.
So it doesn't.
Like soccer is estimated to only go up $353.
So I can tell you, as far as our youth sports programs, we from the last 5 years, coming out of the pandemic, we have grown every year, and we're finally now getting to the point where we're plateauing, right? So that's every year we've had considerable growth. It's been unbelievable, 20, 30, 40, 50% growth from pre-pandemic numbers. But now we're kind of getting to the point where we're saturated, we're getting all those kids, and it'll go up and down depending on the numbers. Those revenues and those expenses are going to start to be more just about the cost of goods stuff. But 11K, I don't know where that 11,000. I gotta look into that.
The day camp is the.
That's summer camp, and there's no way that should go down.
Yeah, you would just add. We're just talking about adding a bus like last year, and
So
adding a wait list.
Yeah, so we didn't have a wait list last year because we moved to Songalux. We grew. It was great.
Right.
We had wait lists, but we were able to activate 100% of the people for the wait list, which was great. We also were able, because of suggestions by this committee and the select board, we were able to not put Naples residents on the wait list unless they absolutely were too late, right? So we did have a couple of, I'll try to get you in, but camp's already started. But I have to really look at that revenue numbers. And I'll be honest with you, I haven't, since our meeting months ago, looked at those numbers.
It's actually gone up.
Right.
It didn't go down.
I have it in green as 68 from the 80.
68, but
It was
last year it was
56 last
56
year.
last year.
Unless I'm looking at, because it's on 2 pages, I'm looking at it backwards. No.
Negative 11.
Last
Your
year's
paper's
actual.
different.
Are you looking,
Different? This is what I've got.
Something's wrong. That ain't right.
That's what I was thinking too, is a net change.
Did you put in the new revenue sheet that they gave us?
I thought so.
A couple of weeks ago?
I thought I did, and I changed all of them.
50 Cs?
These are different. Because look, it's day camp.
So am I working on an old sheet or a new
Do
sheet?
you have the same thing she has?
Mine shows a
Mine's
profit of
different.
12.
Mine says 80, mine says 56, 45, 56, 56, 80, 68, with a change of 11,000.
Yeah, that's not right.
So mine shows 56
good.
for
That
last
makes-
year.
Makes more sense to me.
They're different side to side.
Okay.
My book's in the other car, so I couldn't tell you what my book says.
Okay, well, all right.
I left
so
my book in the
As
wrong
long as
car.
that doesn't sound right to you, Brian, I'm just gonna say
It didn't
that's
sound
not
right
Okay.
immediately when you said it, but I will take a
So-
double look, check at that, and I'm sure Randy can make sure everybody has the exact
Okay.
revenue
I just
sheet,
want
right?
to make sure that doesn't sound right, because if you're looking at.
What do you have, Randy?
If you're looking at increasing,
Well, I can't get my spreadsheet open up.
I know that that the revenues for day camp are not going down. so
No, it's
I
been
gotta
going
fix
up
it.
about 15 grand every year.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, you keep adding kids.
yeah,
Eventually we
that's
get stuff.
what I
That,
thought.
the next big jump in kids is, it will be when we have
The new building.
the rec center, and we're gonna split it off into a separate camp. We're gonna have that be sports camp stuff, and it's gonna be different. That'll be a big jump. Cost more too, but not for.
You won't be holding actual summer camp there, you're gonna do sports camp.
So right now, the plan is to keep summer camp at the school. It may decrease the numbers a little bit as we have a separate camp that is sports focused in the gym and on the fields over there. It's a resource that we have to use it in that way, you know. That will way more than pay for the cost of busing and whatnot, so that sports camp is probably could be one of our biggest revenue generators.
Perfect.
And I hope to, the numbers are looking right now that we'll be able to make it so that it's a considerable savings for Naples residents, paid for by, if we run it right, we get the right quality coaches. That's 2 summers away. There's no way we can get them in there this summer.
No, not this
No matter how hard you're moving.
Not this summer.
The following one, we.
Correct. Oh, you're right, 2 summers
2
away.
summers. Any,
Does anyone have any other questions?
Brian, do you have worked in here and I'm not seeing it? What does it cost us to rent? I assume we rent Songalocks for day camp.
no,
Oh, we don't.
no cost.
So all we're
That's part
paying
of,
for
it's
is the
part of,
buses?
now someday, that may go away, it's part of like a grant, part of public use.
So we pay for the buses?
Oh, we pay for the buses, we pay for the
With 80
driver.
kids, we're 2 buses, 3 buses?
What's that?
If it says 80 kids for a summer camp, is that 2 or 3 buses?
We usually can get away, except for when we do joint field trips, which is once a week, but even that, and during 8-week camp last week, we did it 5 times, we used 2 buses.
You needed 2 buses 5 times?
Just 5 days out of the whole summer, because we use one bus, but it's a lot of money, because that one driver is dropping off, going back, waiting, picking up.
And that's-
So we pretty much pay for a driver all day.
What, 8 grand if I remember right?
Right around, it was over 8, it was closer to 9
For the summer?
for the whole summer, yeah.
Oh, well, really.
It is a lot of money.
Well, actually, it's a lot less than owning your own
Own
bus.
your bus and hire a driver?
You see those green buses on the road, the Kennybunk Rec, Kennybunk Ford Rec? It's the rec department that bought those buses. And it's a hell of a lot more to run those buses than it is to pay the
So-
school district.
One of the ways we're looking to make,
Frank does it too.
Yeah,
one of the ways we're looking to make savings, is I met with Andy Madura. We talked about training either maybe Alex or some other staff or whatever, so that I can have a driver who's also a qualified camp employee. So now, instead of paying somebody to sit and wait, because they can't go back and, while the kids are swimming, they can actually be.
that's what Kennybunk Rec and Kennybunk Ford Rec.
So, and.
They drive the
but
bus.
The cost of getting that bus driver license is astronomical, but Andy has said that we can go through the school, they can
Andy will work with us.
work with us, so that is what we're looking to do right now.
You're getting your bus license? God help
I'm getting,
us.
Listen,
God help us.
I'm getting my Class B through the school.
I've watched you run the loader, I can't even imagine you driving the bus.
Listen, Zippy.
I can't see you
Listen,
having
listen, Zippy, I ain't cost no insurance.
That's because we're all swerving.
Well, good. At least it's on your toe.
You might be talking to the wrong guy. I'm the one that's not allowed to drive the riding lawnmower anymore.
I'm just kidding, Steve, I'm just kidding.
Well, hey, your new salary, you should be driving the bus.
I can't, I would love to, but I can't. Steve won't even let me drive the riding lawnmower anymore.
Nope. Not happening.
Thank you.
What's that?
Thank you.
Thanks, Brian.
Thanks, Brian.
You can go home, go to bed now.
Thank you.
Are you starting with maintenance or roads?
Whatever he picks.
Would you like to start with maintenance or roads?
Yeah, maintenance does the salaries and roads doesn't, so.
Jim, would you like to start with maintenance or roads?
I already did the calculations.
I didn't do much.
Okay, you guys ready?
Maintenance is
Hold on, wait, which tab am I in?
Maintenance is 12.
Oh, 12 and
You got a new one, Sam.
Yeah, you gotta.
I
got
already
got
put
a
the
new
new
one in
ones
front
in,
of me.
guys.
Look at the
Oh, did you?
I think
I already replaced them. You all
the
got
one
that?
I'm
Oh, yeah,
looking
okay,
at-
yeah.
This is the new one.
Excuse me.
That's wrong.
You got to date them.
I'm gonna start reading.
Well, actually, no, that's a good point. Any changes, it should have a date on it so we know what the latest one.
I'm pretty sure my revenues is the new one, because I've thrown out all the old ones.
Yep.
That's my problem on that throw package.
All right, you guys ready?
Yep.
Okay, so FY '25 expenses for salaries and benefits was $321. FY '26 was $380. And FY '27, we're requesting $398, so that's an increase of 18. Salaries, there's two members in there, up 132. And then overtime is up. And the reason overtime is up is prior year budget was $10,000 and the 2-year average spend was 23. So we had a budgeting problem last year, at least on that item. We've seen that in quite a few places. Operating expenses, FY '25, we were at 243,714. The budget for last year was 213,476. And the budget request for this year is 237. That's an increase of 23,600. And make sure I got it all. I think I meant to put a couple more things down here, but ground maintenance is up $5,000 and telephone is up like another $5,000. Part of that, it's a budgeting issue again. Prior budget was 1980, but the 3-year average is 6,500. So there's some budgeting issues in how we budgeted in the past.
When will we have actual? When you closed the books last year,
Yeah.
so then the auditor, when will the auditor have numbers for us?
For '25?
Yeah, well, the next audit, they're behind 2 years, right?
Yeah, they're working on '24 right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so as soon as they're done with that, they'll move on to '25, but I would say maybe a year from now.
Okay.
Yeah. If we can get to where we're only 1 year behind, I think we'll be doing pretty well.
23.
What's
Yeah, I
that?
was gonna say, we just finished 23.
Yeah. I think there's, if you look at it, all towns are having the same issue. If I had to guess, I think they got behind during COVID. And, because they weren't able to go places and do samples and stuff, so they're working their butts off trying to catch up all over the place.
So if the school department's with Anthem and we're with Anthem, and theirs is only going up 10% and the town's going up over 20, why is that? We have more issue,
We're going up 18.
we're 18, yeah.
I'd have to talk to them. I don't know what plan they have with Anthem. MMA is with Anthem too, right? But MMA has their own plans that
Correct.
Anthem administers. So people are seeing different rates all over the place. Like I told you, the transfer station, I think they're projecting 26.6. We're being told to expect 18.
When do we get notified of the actual increase?
Well, our plan is good through July 1, so when we
July 1.
start the new fiscal year,
Okay.
probably about a month out, we'll have a better idea.
Jim?
MMA went up 9% this year.
What I've also been told is it's the number of
Difference in the
employees
school.
that are in that plan.
Right.
So, you know, the school has
Significantly.
significantly more than our
Right.
number, so.
Has to do with
And I don't
more
think they're
employees.
in with MMA either, they're
No,
not,
the school is not.
so they're separate.
So ours is with MMA?
No,
No.
no.
Could it be?
It could, but the MMA plan, we were looking at it, MMA has, they have their top tier to their bottom tier, and they name them after towns. And even the cheapest one is probably a minimum of $6,000 to $8,000 more than what we're paying. But we're gonna keep looking at it and benchmarking. We actually had an opportunity in Waterford where we hired 2 people, and we got to look at what some other people have for plans, and we benchmarked against those 2. I've got a lot of data on what people are paying.
I'm all set.
Are you guys on 5-day work week?
Currently, yes, so 3 of us work 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday, and one of our other guys works Tuesday through Friday. So there is always somebody, plus every week, we have an on-call list of who's on for the week, if there's an on-call after hours type of thing.
Kids Landing has a phone, and it's $170 a month.
It's under phone, but it's actually internet, and that will eventually go away. No, that is actually the internet. There is no phone down there. There's a prepaid cell phone, so you need to call 911, so.
That's all I've got.
It goes away with the fiber network, right?
What?
A lot of the internet charges will have.
Well, yeah, theoretically, when we run fiber down to there, and I'm still gonna meet with Andrew to make sure that that is on the list. If not, we'll put a directional antenna in. But we have the cameras and we have the credit card machine that all run through the internet, so. Yes.
Just something I'm noticing. Under Kent's Landing, that has internet of 2,300.
Yep, that would, okay, I
So-
apologize, I didn't look, where were you looking, Tim?
Under telephone.
Under telephone.
Oh, yeah.
So that could be a double,
Well,
line
it
item.
says 170 a month, but it actually says 0 under
Right.
the line item.
Oh, okay.
So it was taken out.
Okay, perfect,
So it's not being accounted for.
yep.
All right, correct me if I'm wrong on this. So, the museum, they came in here asking for money. Why is this in his budget?
Because this
Is
is.
it different?
Yeah.
between-
Yes,
Okay,
it is.
all right.
It is. What I pay for over there is basically operating, electricity, fuel for the furnace,
Okay.
Yep.
which isn't in their budget.
Yes.
which is not.
Why is that in your budget, not their budget? Because every other department here is broke down.
Well, it's,
Because they're asking just for like their
Yeah.
wages.
Yeah.
Sometimes they ask for cleaning supplies.
yes, exactly.
Just like little things.
Yep, minor stuff.
We can look into that, but the other thing you have to be
I
careful
just-
about.
So we
I-
put in our stuff to maintain them.
You should see the amount of paperwork that we have to go through just for the electric bill,
Oh, yeah.
right? Because you gotta take the electric bill and then you've gotta charge it to the right accounts, and we've made the accounting system more complicated than we need to be.
Exactly.
That's why we're
There's-
talking about taking some of them and recombining them, because we're spending more money just to get it populated into the accounting software correctly.
I have
I mean,
12
typically-
facilities,
that get electric. That does not include Plummer's Field that I have 3 electrical meters down there. So there's 3 bills just at Plummer's Field.
Porta potty.
So, I mean, we're probably
technically
looking at
a
close to
rec
20 electric bills that
usage.
come into this place. So,
Yeah, it's crazy.
What lawn mowing did you guys handle?
we handle Plummer's Field. That's currently within the new contract that was written with Caretake America.
Yeah.
We take care of Plummer's Field.
That's the only mowing?
That's the
you
only
do?
thing that we take care of at this point. Yes.
Triple pond.
I'm sorry, in Turkey Pond.
Turkey Pond, boat lawn?
Yeah, we just run down there, more or less with a weed whacker down there, so.
It's like with the out of state. Why wouldn't you guys do the village green?
Because that's how Jason wanted it written. Jason wanted, here's the thing, and as everybody knows, we take back this, something else gets not able to do. We did 20,000 miles worth of, 20,000 feet of ditching this year. I take one guy away, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Now and if I hire that out, well, Lake House Road's 2.5 miles long. It was $110,000 to ditch Lake House
Half
Road.
of it, and that was half.
That was half of it. That was from Gore Road to the top. So, I mean, we are actually doing work and saving the town some money.
How much ditching is the big cost savings over?
Our infrastructure and our roads, you drive them, Mark.
Yeah.
They need drastic attention, and we're giving as much as we can.
Yeah.
And you'll see later on, or when we go over the roads and highways, if I take back that, and then they're gonna want me to take back the fire station,
Yeah.
Kent's Landing.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out exactly.
Oh, yeah, no, I
what you
totally
guys
understand.
spend most of your time on.
Most of our time in the summer is, we're on the road doing ditching, shouldering, culvert replacement.
Yeah.
We replaced 9 culverts, driveway culverts this year. We paved in 2 of the driveway culverts this year.
And that saved a lot over.
Well, I'll tell you, we won't be hiring, when we replace a culvert, we will not be hiring that paving out. We haven't had a choice previously, but the cost difference between us paving it and me having a company come in and pave it is roughly about $3,500 per culvert difference, so.
You're trying to figure out what to do. So.
How much revenue does the salary for the beach attendant bring in?
We'll talk about that.
So, I'm sorry.
We'll talk about that.
What are you?
So,
We paid
beach
$45,000.
attendant.
Beach attendant, the revenue that they bring in, I don't have that total, because
Years ago for $2,500.
it's not,
Say, monthly is probably wrong.
Well, we get 1,300 in a boat inspection.
I don't know which one's right.
Grand.
Well, I just didn't know if they could.
yeah, we don't.
But I don't know. It's not,
To Steve's point, it's about priorities. What do you want them to focus on? So when we talk about roads, we'll talk
Yep.
about things.
Yep, I mean, which we can move on to that if everybody's good with the maintenance side, so.
You guys ready?
Yep.
Roads is a different section.
80 or something.
21.
Oh, 21 in the book, yeah.
So Steve kind of highlighted it a little bit. I wanted to go over this a bit. So, Steve, you can correct me if we're wrong, but we have 45 center line miles of road that we care for.
Correct.
So that's 90 miles of ditching. And I think you guys already know this, ditching is super critical to taking care of the capital investment that's in the road. We have millions in the roads, right? And it costs money to take care of those millions. Not only does the ditching allow for the water to run off, but it also keeps the water levels below the road down so that you don't get so much frost heaves and cracking and everything else that goes with it. So it's super important thing that you need to do. I actually rode around with I don't remember the guy's title, but he was with the state of Maine, and he would come in and ride around with the select boards and look at their roads and give you suggestions. And when he was riding around with us in Waterford, he said, your number one thing is ditching.
It's probably Peter Coughlin, the local roads guy.
No, his last name was, who was our governor that was the independent?
King.
Curtis. His last name was Curtis.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't think of his first name anymore, but he really hammered on us for about 3 hours about how important ditches were and how bad ours were, so. Now, if you want to maintain those 90 miles of ditches every year, let's say every 5 years you want to go through them, that's 18 miles of ditching a year. If you want to stretch it out to 10, you got to do 9 miles of ditching a year. And you should be ditching your roads before you pave them, right? You should go in, do your culverts, your ditching, have all that done. I can tell you the people that are professional road people, they want all that done 1 year out.
Yep.
They want it to sit.
Why don't we get our plow contractor under control about wasting sand, so he stops filling them in?
Well, we can talk about some of that, but my point is, last year he talked about, how many feet did you do?
This past summer, we did 20,000 feet.
Okay, roughly.
How many miles is
4
that?
miles.
4 miles.
About just under 4.
So
just
we're on
under
a
5 miles.
20-year cycle.
But we're also doing it with a mini excavator, not something of any size or girth that you could get production out of.
We get a fair amount of production, Tim.
I know what you're saying. You do get good production out of it. But if you had the right equipment, it would go a lot smoother. If you had bigger equipment, it would go a lot smoother.
But Tim, the point more here is, like, I agree with everything you're saying,
Yeah.
right? Get an articulated bucket and all of that, but really the point we're making is he can be mowing the lawns and doing those other things, and with the crew he's got right now, all of those distractions, we got 4 miles done, not the 9 that we need to do to be on a 10-year cycle.
Well,
How many
How come
guys
you
does
have-
it take
how come
when
one
you do
hits-
the ditching?
I'm sorry,
How
Sam.
many guys?
Well, I gotta have an equipment operator, I gotta have a dump truck operator. Great to have 2 dump truck operators because
So you use the whole crew?
I use the whole crew.
Okay, so
All
there's
of us,
all four
right,
of you.
and we purchased automated traffic signals
Yep.
on the lower end of what's down here at the bridge, but that has helped us meet the requirements of OSHA and everything else because I don't have to tie a guy up flagging.
Right.
But all of us, and then you've got, that's 3. Then you got me, and I'm either having to help them run around for whatever fire's being set around town that needs to be put out, whether there's an issue at Kent's Landing, issue here at the town office, and so they sometimes get handicapped when I leave.
don't one of your guys have to come to this town office and take the trash out every day?
Not every day, I have them come in twice a week.
Why is that your responsibility?
Well, no, the
Just always has
custodian
been.
reports to him.
No, that is, the
That's his crew.
custodian is my crew.
Right.
One of my 3 guys.
Right.
Why is,
And
You're
he comes,
It's crazy.
why?
there's only 4, Jim.
Right, 4, right.
There's 4.
Yeah, yeah.
That includes my big
Okay,
butt.
yeah.
But how many people work in this building and they can't take 2 seconds?
Listen,
It
But
takes a
that-
lot longer than that to mop the floors,
the
vacuum.
boy,
and do-
honestly, the boys were in here cleaning up, so this place looked good, and they were here for 3.5 hours today.
Well, that's 3.5
That was
hours. They
2
could-
guys.
But that's 3.5 hours, they could be somewhere else. That's 6.5
100%.
billable hours you put somewhere else.
100% correct, but
Yeah.
we're not on that subject.
We agree. That was done as a cost reduction.
Yeah. Now, I can add in a cleaning company, and the cleaning
Not a
company is
good
about
idea.
$30,000.
But that.
Look what happened at the cemeteries. They didn't have time to do the cemeteries, and we're paying $45,000 to mow the cemetery.
I mean,
It would cost $30,000 to take out the trash. I
Right.
mean, it's, when you go up
He needs to ditch
But-
roads. He
I
has
hate to
do all
break
this
it,
other-
ask a little more of your employees.
well,
Ask a little more of your employees. There is no need to do that.
I'm not gonna argue with you about that, I'm just saying, yeah.
I get it, we're not on that subject, I appreciate that thought. We're doing what we can with what we got. And I'm sorry, but I take great pride in the fact that I think my guys are doing one heck of a job.
Clement Brothers needs to hire a couple more guys and then start mowing our lawns again.
What, for,
Who's lawn?
Who's on?
so,
No, I need them done at my association.
Is he donating that service?
Nobody's gonna give us a real good price.
Actually, bought a state at the auction.
We talked about the snow bid,
say,
the snow removal bid.
what would you like to talk about, Sam?
Can you back bill the P and K for what you guys have done?
No, and we just talked about what we need to do to not have P&K.
Not this year. I'd love to talk about it, but not this year.
Well, it says out for bid,
It's not out for bid. We have one more year in the contract. It's not out for bid.
so this lies.
I
It's
don't
not
know
a
what it
lie.
says. I'm just telling you, we got one more year in the contract after this year. We can discuss that next year at that time. I will just say I'm not taking the entire town over.
I was just gonna say,
But
all
it's,
the arguments
but it
that
says
people
out for
have
bid.
with P and
Is
K,
it not out
you
for
are not gonna be able to do it any cheaper or any better.
I don't want it cheaper, I just want.
I will tell you, Jim, that is false.
Nope.
Jim, I got a truck at 110.
By the time you pay for all the equipment that you're gonna have to buy,
No, I actually, just so you're well aware, for us to take back half the town, I only need to buy one more truck. I already have two.
you're talking about half the town, not the whole, not what they do. The whole.
Any town that wants to jump in and take an entire town over is a fool.
Correct.
We are not gonna do that.
We
You
will
have to
both agree
stage
on
yourself
that.
into it.
We are not gonna do that. So,
Okay, but for clarification, the out for bid
it's not
is.
correct.
It's not correct.
It's
So
not-
we have, so next year, we put it
Where is
out
it,
for
Sam?
bid.
Where is it?
It says out for bid, so,
Where?
out for bid,
It is not out for bid.
okay. So,
You didn't even cross it out.
so,
It's not out for bid.
so next year it can go out for bid?
No,
2 summers.
we
Okay.
got 2 summers.
All right.
So you're budgeting $85,000 for sand next year.
What now, wait, sand?
Yep.
85?
Yep. Yep.
No,
Sand cost 12, you got 85,000 for sand. Contracted service for hauling?
Yeah, that's,
Calling it P.
No, 115,000 for salt.
I'm not talking about salt, I'm talking about sand.
yeah, I know what you're doing.
Yeah, okay.
So I
Well, isn't it a
just,
salt sand mixture?
No, it is.
It is.
But you'll get my point in a minute.
yeah, so,
This is category.
yeah, that's correct. 4,000 yards of sand at $20 a yard.
Okay.
That's correct.
And how much sand have we blown through already this year, so you're gonna be over budget on that?
Currently, I've purchased my 4,000 yards of sand.
And we're almost out, right?
Currently, I've purchased my 4,000 yards of sand.
But, okay. So we're gonna be way over on that.
We're not gonna be way over.
He's gonna go sweep it up from all the stuff that P&K did.
I can't do that, that's.
And that
EP
sand,
doesn't
that sand
allow
is
it.
just for.
Believe it or not, salt sand's a hazardous
No,
waste.
that $200,000 worth of sand and salt does all of our roads in town.
Oh, okay.
Until they go over budget.
Timothy?
So, can we backfill them, seriously?
No, I cannot. And I will tell you why. And I will say it on camera. I made my guys go out because we had gone 2 days with an ice pack on the road, and I did it for the safety of the residents of the town of Naples. I did not do it because
Because P and K wouldn't do it.
that's when it sat for 2 days, I went and did it. So, I'm not throwing mud right now.
All right, any other questions on the budget? For roads and bridges?
So I assume that mowing the cemetery is under the cemetery budget? That's why we're not seeing it over here.
That is, actually, hold on, that is under grounds maintenance
Where,
on the town maintenance budget.
Yeah, it was prospect?
It's, and that was the $50,250.
So you're not gonna pave any roads this year?
Yes, I am, well, yes, I would.
What do we
But
got?
that
That's
was
in
under,
reserves.
you
Okay.
missed,
That was
Yeah.
under reserves. That was-
When is the cemetery budget up? By contract up?
The cemetery, we just did a 3-year on the cemetery, so I got 2 more years.
We just renewed it?
Last year.
That went out to bid?
Yes, it did.
yeah, Jason did a lot of work getting 3 years in place, right, before he left.
Yeah, I did.
I'm telling you.
No, that was the cemeteries, and then I believe the cemeteries was a 3-year and the causeway was a 5-year, or Caretake America's contract.
When I retire next year, I'm buying a lawnmower and I'm gonna put a bid in for the cemeteries.
Wouldn't last 3 days doing it.
Yes, I would.
No.
I'll show you how to drive it.
Yeah,
Go buy a $12,000 walker.
I'll sell
can
you.
drive my
I
Kubota,
got
I
one,
can drive
I
a
got one at
lawnmower.
the maintenance shed.
Huh?
I got one at the maintenance shed, I'll let you use it.
There we go.
Great job, too.
It would be. As long as I'm sitting down and not walking, I'll be fine.
Anything else?
You all happy with me then?
Yep.
No, we're done with you. I didn't say we were happy with you. We said we're done.
There's a complaint department phone number.
It's attached to the grenade. I got one.
So that's it.
That's it.
That's it?
Fine, yep.
All right, next week
There's your
is
folder. for the-
fire,
There's only
rescue,
3
breed
signatures because there's
safety,
only
animal
3
control.
people here last week. Randy,
But,
there's only 3 signatures.
Sam, we wanna do-
Because there was only 3 people here last week. That's why there's
Meeting
only
minutes
3
to get
signatures.
those out of the way.
I just didn't, I
You wanna do meeting
didn't want you
minutes
to
to get
think
those
we're
out of the
missing
way?
signature.
I wanted to hold them
yeah,
Yeah.
What about today's?
because he's looking into
They're
the
renewing
policy
it or
and I
something.
asked for changes.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry about last week, and then you guys couldn't vote. Oh,
He's gonna look into the policy on that to see if they watch them, if it counts, and I asked for a change on the meeting minutes.
If they what?
If they watch them on TV, if it counts, that's them verifying that the meeting minutes are correct. And then I asked for a change on the meeting minutes.
what about the minutes from last week?
I asked for a change.
He asked for a change.
So I'm asking you to make a change before we vote on them. Can I have a motion to close?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Full vote. We are closed, 7:38.